we're now in a time period technologically and economically where everything is shifting, and it appears that what's happening is organizations are going to flatten, and in the flattening, most likely the managers are going to have an increased span of control. And so how to manage, what are some ideas for them to take home to basically be able to try to maintain the relationships while also having the burden of an additional.
And I would say that first to me, and then you can give your thoughts. So first to me is do not sacrifice the one-on-one. Try to keep them weekly. 15 minutes is fine. And then use the basic structure of, if you like it, what's new since the last time we talked? What do you need help with? And then what are your priorities?
Yeah, I think you need a structure because otherwise it's a lot like, you and I spend a lot of time away from each other. And if we didn't have a structure, we also freeform, but we have a structure that kind of starts the conversation.
Oh, you're saying nighttime?
Yeah, our nighttime conversation. Yeah. And if you don't.
So stuff we're grateful for, the stuff that's going on, we actually have a structure.
Right.
And it helps.
It helps you have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because otherwise.
How are you doing? Fine. How are you doing? Fine.
Right. Because the day, there may have been interesting things during, but basically, look, my day is the same. I'm knocking out stuff every day. Your day is the same. Yeah. You're teaching people up and knocking stuff out every single day. So if we just go in without a structure, we don't pull out really any parts of our life. We're not really sharing. So you have to have a structure.
The point is, as the leader, don't drive that conversation. I think the science is pretty clear on that. You want your subordinate. It's what's new, what are the priorities, what do you need help with? Some version of that. But you're letting the subordinate be the one doing most of the talking.
Yeah, you're not communicating.
Here's what I need you to do.
You could have a section of it where you're communicating down what you need to have happen as a manager. But you absolutely have to have the opposite direction where they're telling you what's going on and what they need.
Yeah, right. If it's the manager talking, here's the priorities, here's what we're doing this week, here's what I'm helping with, that's going to be who wants to go to that meeting.
And that could probably actually be a meeting with multiple people.
Yeah, sure. That's your basic staff meeting. But your one-on-one is some version of led by the direct report. Here's what's new. Here's what's hot or priority. And here's what I need help with. And then that starts a conversation where the manager may put in, well, okay, why is this a priority? What about this thing? Oh, I finished that. Okay, whatever. And, the conversation unfolds as it needs to unfold. One-on-ones, in my opinion, are and not just opinion, but following the science, I think are the best way to, even as you increase span of control or the number of people you're supervising, to try to make sure that they stay connected to you. Weekly, 15 minutes. If you can't do weekly, every other week, and then tell them some of your ideas. If you have to go,
if you have to go 2 weeks, if you have to go 2 weeks, then you need some sort of touch point in the middle. So ideally you are trying to create a relationship between you as manager and your subordinates, but you're also trying to create, in doing that, you're trying to create a community. And so, you could do the simple, just the simple question check-in on the week that's off from the actual meeting, which is, hey, do you need anything? Yeah. Which is just sort of a flyby check-in. Or it's possible that convening your subordinates as a group for that. So you're only doing one 15-minute weekly meeting, and then you're letting them have a conversation about what's going on, who needs help. And you're facilitating them having coordination and bonds that can also help with sort of feeling and you're participating, you're there, but it's just, whenever you're throwing everybody into the room, it's a little bit easier on your time, but you can't sacrifice much more than 1 week every 2 weeks for the one-on-ones. You need to actually touch people one-on-one every 2 weeks. And if you're further out than that, you're probably going to have to ease back into at least a 2-week rhythm.
Yeah, I think, if I was enumerating what to do as you get more and more direct reports, hopefully you don't get too many, but as you increase in them to make sure they remain connected. So that the one is don't let go of the one-on-ones, as you said. The second is try your best to have them doing shared goals with other people on the team.
And facilitate them actually.
Yeah, because that's
constructively working on it.
That's another glue. Now I'm glued not just to my supervisor, I'm glued to the other people on my team through meaningful work, and we're actually making progress on it. And so facilitating that and trying your best to be smart, to have people actually have to do work together, not just divide and conquer, that we're on a theoretical team, but we're not actually responsible for an objective together. And then the third thing is, even if your team is spread all over Kingdom Come, get them together a few times a year so that they all see each other in the flesh. And those things, I think, can help even as you add your direct reports, try to help keep them glued in a meaningful way to the work, to the people they're doing the work with, and then also compensate some for the fact that you're, as the manager, spread a little thinner than you may have been before.
Yeah, and you may bring them together for the work. Like we've done this with workshops with organizations. Like we bring them together for the work.
Yeah, sure.
And then when they're released, they're, especially if you're bringing people in, like physically, and then when they're released, they have the opportunity to be somewhere new and do something fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good, like we don't do games. We'll do an exercise here and there, but when we're convening groups, we're talking about the company. Like people are working. Mm-hmm. And if a problem comes up, we'll troubleshoot it.
And they don't mind because actually people at work want to feel like they're getting work done. They want to feel like there's movement. So they're fine with that. But if you are trying to get like the peer level, you want them working together for shared goals. And then when that's done, we've seen like tremendous things happen after like a weekend retreat where like people were released after we did work during the day and then released them into the wild that night.
Yeah. A lot of, the normal bonding and so forth. But I think it's an important point to make. It's a small one, but you do not have to take your people to
axe throwing,
laser tag.
Yeah.
Like you can take them somewhere and have them talk about the work and how we can make it better and what have our accomplishments been. And here's a little professional development nugget. We're bringing in this AI expert to talk with us for 90 minutes about what they think the future may be in our industry, whatever. I'm just making that up. And then you give them, everybody has dinner together. They have some hours together, whatever. You finish early in the afternoon. And there can be something if you wanted fun, but
they'll find their own fun.
Yeah, they're not. People don't want you to take them to axe throwing. People want to talk about the work that they're doing, thinking about what might the next year look like, looking forward a little bit as well. If you're holding the wheel and you're thinking about, cutting back by leaning out managers, just be careful. Run the numbers. Where are those people going to go and how many direct reports are you going to be handing out? And I think it's extreme danger if somebody has more than 7 or 8 direct reports.
Right. And you need to think about some of the factors that make it doable for people to have has something changed?
Yep.
Are you seeing that they're so understaffed, under responsibility, not understaffed, but under responsibility that like
that we can do this.
Right. Yeah. Or has something changed where like technologically now they can actually handle more people?
Yeah. Yeah. And so what often happens that we see is people thin out their managers a little bit. And then after giving too many direct reports, so many months later, they take somebody in the direct report and promote them up to be like, essentially, I took a manager away and then 6 months later.
Basically putting somebody else back up there.
That's right.
That.
Yeah.
And I think also like as you're shuffling things around, you have to, yes, you're doing it to reduce costs.
Yeah.
But if you're taking out a layer of management and shuffling jobs onto, the idea with AI is it's now a job has become so much easier that it's not really additional work and it doesn't require the same skill level that it had previously. But if you are shuffling things around where people are actually, their job is getting harder and you haven't done anything to either it's getting harder or it's just too busy.
Yeah.
It's not that they can't do the work. It's just way too much to have to do. Then you have to think about, okay, like taking some of the things off of these other people's plates and delegating it down, or at a minimum, recognizing what you've done to them and actually paying them.
Yeah.
Which
Watch out.
Feel like a lot of people sometimes don't do that analysis. And so
careful.
Somebody winds up actually having like a job just sort of, in pieces get put on them. And then by the time you look around at all the pieces the person is actually managing or responsible for, they actually should have a different job title.